Hello, my dear students of 11th class. Our previous topic was shapes of S, P, D, and F atomic orbitals, done on the basis of chi-square and boundary surface diagram. Today's session is on energies of atomic orbitals from the nucleus onward and outward. So, we will start today's topic, that is on the energies of atomic orbitals. This is called ability of an electron in an atom to perform some work. Work may be in different forms. That's why energies of orbitals is known as it is an ability of an electron in an atom. It is discussed on the two grounds. First, we'll discuss energies of the only hydrogen and hydrogen-like system comes under the single electron system. Then we'll go to the more than one or multi-electron system. So here it is called energy level diagram. Means just for the understanding, we don't go the exact part of the energy diagram. So roughly we will understand by putting an arrow mark from the bottom to the top, increasing order of energy. That is called as the energy level diagram for single electron system and the multi-electron system. Now energy level diagram for single electron system. This is the diagram which tells us that means 1s is at the bottom. It is the atomic orbital which is having the least energy because this is the closest to the nucleus. In the case of hydrogen, only one electron in this, so it is 1s1 for hydrogen. Suddenly a gap is there because yesterday we were discussing about the nodal surface. So afterwards we'll go to the 2s and 2p. You please here they belong to the n equal to 2, so the energy is equal. In the same way, this energy 3s 3p 3d equal. In the same way, 4s 4p 4d, they have got equal energies. The energies of different orbitals in the energy level diagram depend upon the principal quantum number only and are independent of azimuthal quantum number. That means energies of this system, that is single electron system, depends only on the n value, not on the L value. More the n value, more is the energy. Less the n value, less is the energy. More the n value, more is the energy. Less the n value, less is the energy. So this is the energy level diagram. Just to understand one line, that is from bottom to top, increasing order energy. Now we will go to the energy level diagram for the multi-electron system. Yeah, the energies of orbital having different values of L, but the same value of N are different. Different value of L. L is different here, but the same value of N. Okay, see next example. For the same value of N, what rule says? Higher the value of L, more is the energy of the orbital. See here, N value is the same 3, 3, 3. But L value for S is 0, L value for the P is 1, L value for the D is 2. So L value differs, whereas N value remains the same. What rule says? Rule says more higher the value of L, higher the value 0 to 1, 1 to 2, higher the value of L, more is the energy. That's why 3s is having less energy than 3p than 3d. One sample is written here, but here diagrammatically, see earlier 2s and 2p were same in the case of hydrogen, but here 2s is lower energy, 2p is slightly higher energy. That means it shows as 2p is slightly away from the nucleus. The more you go away from nucleus, energy is more. This is normally s orbitals are close than the p, than the d, than the f because of their shapes. All s orbitals are spherical in shape, so they spend more time near the nucleus. Maybe they change their n value, but they spend time close to the nucleus. If it is becoming p lobe, two lobes, and here one dumbbell shape, then two lobes, many lobes, so they spread in the space. So that means they are not under the control of nucleus that much, so they go to the higher level. This is the general rule. The energy difference s and p orbitals of a particular energy shell is small, and between p and d it is more, while between f and d is maximum. Why? Because S is having the least energy, then comes P, then comes D, then comes F from the nucleus onward. So if you calculate energy difference between S and the P, what he says that S and P is small, because as you move far away from the nucleus, energies are increasing. So F orbital has the maximum energy. So that difference between F and the D becomes more. That's why this rule says like this. Now the relative order of energies of the various orbitals can be predicted or calculated with the help of n plus L rule, which is known as the Bohr-Bury rule. Both have done the work. So Bohr along with Bury, both are scientist name. So that rule is called what? Bohr-Bury rule. What is the rule says? The rule says the lower the value of n plus L for an orbital, the lower is its energy. By chance, if two orbitals have the same value of n plus L, then the orbital with lower value of n will have the lower energy. Best example is between 4s and 3d. Now, this is n value, this is L value. S means what? 0. L value. So, 4 plus 0, it is 4. For 4s orbital, n plus L is 4. And for 3d, you see 3 plus s equal to 0, p equal to 1, d equal to 2. So 3 plus 2, 5. 3 plus 2, 5. So what it says, lower the value of n plus L, lower is its energy. So low value, so lower energy. Now the second rule here, 4 plus 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. This is 5 plus 7. Both have got n plus L same value. When both have got same n plus n value, then second part starts. What starts? The orbital with lower value of n. Among the two, both have got n plus L same. That time whose orbital n value is low, it is 4f, 4. So this is having lower energy. So 4f is lower than the 5d. That is the Bohr-Bury rule. Energies of the orbitals in the same subshell decrease with increase in the atomic number. That means now we will take the example of a 2s orbital in the hydrogen, 2s orbital in the lithium, 2s orbital in the Na, 2s orbital in the K. In the hydrogen, only one electron, that is 1s, next is 2s only. Whereas in the case of lithium, first 1s comes, then 2s comes. Okay, 2s is filled there. But in the case of hydrogen, 2s is khali, empty. Whereas in the Na, after 2s, many are there. Potassium still, after 2s, many atomic orbitals are there. So what he says, as the electron moves far away from the nucleus, one reason. Second is 2s is there in all the atomic orbitals. Okay, but here 2s is under the control of only one proton. Atomic number is 1. 2s of lithium is under the control of 3 protons. More the number of protons, more is the attraction on the 2s. So here 11 protons in the nucleus controlling the 2s orbitals. Here 19 protons in the nucleus, 19 plus charge controlling the 2s of the potassium. That means you imagine 19 protons controlling the 2s electrons minus strong control. So potassium will control 2s like anything. So 2s orbital in the case of potassium has got very least energy, no freedom at all. That's why this order lesser, lesser and more. So 2s orbital in the case of hydrogen is more because it is not under the control of nucleus that much. Whereas here, because of the 19 protons, it is controlling very much the 2s orbitals in the case of potassium. Now this is regarding the one more small topic. What are degenerate orbitals? Degenerate orbitals means what? This is applicable only for those orbitals where m value is there. M gives the orientation. So m value is there for P, D and F. For S there is no m value. That means in the case of S there are no subdivisions. Equivalent energy. Electron orbitals which have the same energy levels are known as degenerate. That means Px, Py, Pz of the P, they are degenerate. 5d of the D, they are degenerate. 7f of the F, they are degenerate. So they are called degenerate orbitals. See, same example is given. Okay. See the graphically. Okay. So this is 2px, 2py, 2pz. This is 3px, 3py, 3pz. This is 3d1, 3d2. All the 5d orbitals, they are degenerate. What is degeneracy? Degeneracy means the total number of different states of the same energy is called degeneracy. It is also known as the degree of degeneracy. For example, for the p orbitals, how many are there? Px, Py, Pz. So they are all equal. So three orbitals which have got equal energy. And what is the degree of degeneracy? It is 3. For D, there are 5 d orbitals, all equal energy. So 5 is the degree of degeneracy for the D, and for the F it is 7, depend upon the number of suborbitals in the case of P, D and F. Now this is the effective nuclear charge. One more small bit. See, in total the charge on the electron is 0 because equal plus equal minus are neutral. Nucleus being positively charged attract the electrons in the various shell of the atom. Okay, but the charge experienced by all the electron is not same because of shielding of electrons. Means inner electrons act as a cover, shield, protection for the outer electrons. So that means nucleus will have not control on the outer electrons. There is a reduction in the control. There is a reduction in the nuclear charge on the outer electrons due to the inner electrons. Inner electrons act as sweater or the cover or the protection, or they are shielding, they are covering. That is known as what? Shielding effect. So because of the shielding effect of inner electrons over the outer electrons, nucleus will not control that much the outer electrons. This is called effective nuclear charge. The charge is not that much. Okay, if inner electrons are not there, then they can control. Because inner electrons are there, they cover the outer electrons. So control of the nucleus over the outer electrons is slightly less, and total reduction in the nuclear charge. And that after reduction, whatever left is called as a effective nuclear charge. See here. Effective nuclear charge is equal to nuclear charge minus shielding effect. So effective nuclear charge is the reduced nuclear charge experienced by the outer electrons due to the shielding effect of inner electrons. Very excellent. Okay. So my dear boys, with this we will wind up today's session, and in our next online interaction we will discuss on electronic configuration. So